And the news is everywhere around Frederick Benjamin. Now, Frederick Benjamin would miss the African Cup of Nations. Now, let's talk about Frederick Benjamin today, the Super Eagles star, and what it means to Nigeria, where he'll not be part of the African Cup of Nations that will take place next month. Welcome to Richard Nwaji's YouTube channel. If you're just joining us for the first time, we'll talk about the biggest stories around the world of sports, Super Eagles, Super Falcons, and sports in general. And today, we're talking about maybe a very sad news to many Nigerians who hearing the news around the fact that this particular man they call Frederick Benjamin Frederick, whatever name you want to call him, will not be part of the African Cup of Nations. Now, he picked up an injury with his club during training today, and it has been confirmed that he picked up a hamstring injury and he won't be available. Now, if you're coming across the name for the first time, you would know that there's a young star in the Super Eagles defense who's just 20 years, who is very, very good, very, very brilliant. And when I mean good and brilliant, I mean he is very, very talented. The fact that he's one of the youngest stars when it comes to African football in defense that is very versatile. Now, Frederick can play from the central defensive role, can play from the fullback role, left and right. He's that talented, and he's not that talented the fact that he can play these roles, but we have watched him play for the Super Eagles in their games they have played so far. Since all the games he played so far, he has been incredible. Watched him against Gabon, did so well. Watched him against DR Congo, he did so well. Before then, against Benin, he did so well. And I've spoken before and I said there is no other player that have played more games apart from being the goalkeeper compared to the man they call Frederick Benjamin. Now he will be without him in the African Cup of Nations. What does this mean to the Super Eagles? How can Super Eagles do without Frederick Benjamin? Already, Olaino is out and will not be part of the African Cup of Nations, and now the man we all hope to see, the young star, the 20 years old boy who held Aubameyang down, we hope to see in the African Cup of Nations, would not play. And now the question will be, how will we handle this? How will Eric Shell and his men play without Benjamin Frederick? Now, the whole thing now would be going back to look for the best peers, because many of us would agree that we prefer him in the central role. Him and Bassi playing that central role. We watched them play a central role against Gabon and against Benin. I think against Benin, where he had against Gabon. I think it was Gabon. Watched him against Gabon, where they had this beautiful, football in the central role. Now, many will agree that they are not comfortable with the combination of Bassi and Semi Ajayi playing the central role. But as I always say, the greatest gift to every coach is when you have a player who is very, very versatile. A player who could play different roles. And this is exactly what Benjamin Frederick brings to the Super Eagles team. Now, without him, what will be the way out? This will be a big question that even the coach would have to start pondering on what to do right now. For some of us who would believe that this might be maybe a chance to give the likes of maybe a Wazim the chance to play, because the way things are going right now, you need somebody who is also versatile in that defensive role. And to be truthful, the only player right now in the defensive role of the Super Eagles that is as versatile as maybe could play the central and the fullback role would be Awazim. Also, Bassi can also switch those roles. But look at the fact that you have that player out. Which player will now suit in? Maybe Awazim can be the man to suit in, because Awazim is having great form for his club right now and everything. But we will speak on the fact that as it stands right now, Frederick Benjamin remains irreplaceable in the Super Eagles team. As it stands right now. However, we still believe that another player can step up before or during the African Cup of Nations. The question now with what will be who will be the central defenders? Are we going to stick with Bassi and Semi Ajayi? Who are we going to allow to play the right fullback role? These are big questions the coach will need to ask. I can't really give the whole details around that right now. But as I said, maybe Owazim will be one of the player. Maybe he would now know, okay, maybe he could be having the start or something for the Super Eagles of Nigeria because he's consistent for his club right now. But we must pick on the fact that Frederick Benjamin being out of the African Cup of Nations is a big blow to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. The big blow to defense. There was a young player would have loved to see him play at the Afcon, but he will not be there. But let's see what happens. We wish him quick recovery, and hopefully he returns very, very, very fast, and we'll see him play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I remember how he held this man to call, Bamiyang down. 20 years, but a wonderful kid. All right, that's all we have around Frederick Benjamin today. My name is Richard Nwanji. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel so we can follow up all the biggest stories in the world of sport. Until I see you next time, keep talking sports, keep following up the biggest sporting stories, and we'll keep on following our trip. Our way to Morocco is still on. Don't forget that we'll have a very, very interesting coverage of the Super Eagles in Morocco. A very, very beautiful coverage of Super Eagles in Morocco, and definitely trust me, I'll give you all the backroom interviews, every single thing that will be happening in Morocco come from the 21st of December till January. Richard Nwanji is the name. I'll see you soon.